Hi, welcome to Goodman Models. Anthony here, and I'd like to do a quick video on the maintenance for super sanding blocks. So thank you for purchasing the super sanding blocks, and I hope you're enjoying them and you're building lots of models. And as you do that, they get a little bit dirty and the grits get filled up with sort of plastic dust and other gunk. So as you can see here, I have a set that has been well abused and loved and used, and I'll show you a quick way of keeping them clean. And all you need is an old toothbrush, which is a handy thing to have in your toolbox or on your bench. And these are wet dry grits for wet sanding, and you can take a little bit of water, that's all you need, and you can clean them out. And in a lot of cases you're going to see the dust and collected sort of grit come out of there, and it's going to be ready for your next use. These ones are really old, but they still actually come up pretty good. So that's all you really need. And I'll do this one here. That's quite dirty. And I do recommend that you don't submerge your blocks, and by that I mean don't put them in there and leave them overnight in your water. They're made of sandpaper and they'll dissolve, and you want to have them for a long time, and really you can do a lot with just a little bit of water. And if you are wet sanding, which I do highly recommend, they don't even need to be this wet to work on your plastic. It just gives a nicer cut to your plastic when they have a bit of water on them, and it keeps the dust from flying and collecting, and it gives a nicer experience for your building time. So that one's just cleaned out, and you don't have to do this all the time, just when you feel that they may have gotten a little bit clogged. This should help get rid of some of it. Another thing that's important to mention about super sanding blocks is that if they are dropped on the corners on a hard surface, concrete, tile, they may chip. They can be brittle that way. So try to avoid dropping them on the corners as best you can. Not the end of the world, but just to keep them looking fresh and clean. So that's pretty much as good as it's going to be now. It's cleaned up. Here's another super dirty one. So these are my set that I use in my travel box and at my own bench. And I don't know, these are probably a couple years old for sure, at least. So there you can see they come up quite nicely and ready for your next project. So as we know as modelers, it is good to keep your bench nice and neat and tidy and clean, and also your tools. And another interesting point to note is if you have one of the green 80 grit blocks, they are not wet dry. I've since stopped making them with that, but it was a dry only, and there's lots of them out there. You can still brush them out just to clean the grits out, and just a little touch of water there, and you can see some of the dust coming off there, and it's going to be ready to go. So you can still brush out this block just to get rid of any loose or built up debris and keep it going, but don't get that one wet. Well, thanks again for checking out my video, and I do appreciate if you purchased the blocks. Thank you. I do hope they're helping you build your models. Thanks a lot.